Now let's move on to the next topic, which is trigonometry. We'll start learning about angles, quadrants, axes, and then move on to defining sine theta, cosine theta, and tangent theta, and then do some practice questions on that. Now let's move on and see uh, what does a quadrant, what is an axis, and what's an angle mean. So coordinate axis is basically two lines which are perpendicular to each other, one called x-axis and the other one called as y-axis. And if you see, these two axes divide the whole space into four parts. This is the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part, and this is the fourth part, right? So the top right, which is written 1, is always called as first quadrant. Quadrant, so first quadrant. And the one next to it on the left is called second quadrant. And this is called the third quadrant. And this is called the fourth quadrant. Okay, so the order is always like this. So first, second, third, fourth. So if you could see, it is anti-clockwise, right? So that is axis and quadrant means. Let's see what is an angle. In general, angle means anything between two angles, like any measurement between the two angles is called an angle. But here in trigonometry, angle means that a line makes with the x-axis is called an angle. Say if I draw an angle from here to here, this is an angle. It's called generally theta, right? Or the angle could be like this. This is theta, or it could be like this. And if you observe or note, the angle is always on the right side of the line, not this side, right? I'm measuring always this angle, right? So if I draw a line this way, the angle would be this whole angle from here, not this angle, right? So if I draw an axis again, if I draw a line like this, the angle with the x-axis, so this is x-axis and this is y-axis, right? This is the angle here, right? This is theta or alpha, whatever you define it. And if I draw a line like this, you think the angle would be this? No, it would be the whole angle here, right? Now let's move on to the next topic. Units of angles. What are the units of angles? The units of angles are either degrees, which is something like this, or radians. Right? So if I draw a line this way, say if this is theta, and I measure it close to 60 degrees, this is the angle 60 degrees. Now if I ask you what is the angle in radians, then you need to convert this angle to radians. How do you do that? This is the conversion factor. 180 degrees is equal to pi radians, right? Pi is 22/7, right? Just as you know. So 180 degrees means pi radians. Let's see how much 60 degrees means. So if 180 degrees is pi radians, how much would be 60? It would be 60 degrees times pi over 180, right? If 60 times 3 is 180, so 60 degrees meaning pi by 3 radians, right? Okay, now let's do some practice questions on the quadrants and angles or angle conversion.